All right, we're here. I had to get a little bit of intro music going in. Related to Verdance. Some Enchanted Forest music just because. We'll let some others trickle on in before we start. And we'll just finish out this song. We'll change to something else. I don't really know what we're going to change it to. But... hopefully everybody's weekend was pretty good. I had a few days here that I was able to capitalize on the weekend, so that's good for me. A bit of a short week on both week for last week and this week. So we're just gonna go ahead and wait for some people to come in. I will do something really quick here. I gotta move some stuff. I feel like I'm not sick, but I could be sick. I don't know. I mean, after like a big convention weekend like that, this past weekend, I think it really just boils down to if I'm just have somewhat of a change of weather type of pace, because last few days around here in Pittsburgh, it's actually been a lot nice, like a lot of nicer weather, I should say. Like in the 60s, 70s, it's like really good weather that I would like. I would honestly go and take my dogs to one of the parks that we went to last year around here, and we got some pretty cool pictures. I would like to take them again to that same spot because it's actually a really nice spot. Let's see if I can show you off of my phone rather than, because I don't actually have it on my computer, but we had I got a really good photo because I edited a little bit slightly, so of my corgi. So going there this year would be really nice. Let's see if I can actually turn this around here. So this is him. It's actually not that good of a photo in the stream, but I'll have to send it on the it's actually one of my favorite pictures of him like that because I had to edit a little bit. But yeah, weather's actually gotten a lot better around here, so hopefully that's just like a change of weather thing that I'm experiencing. Hopefully there's some more people trickling on in here. And we've got some more Flesh and Blood back-to-back weekends almost. So we just basically find out what will happen like last weekend and then just compare it to Kobe, which it is a different change of regions on how they perceive the meta, because you had Taipei, right? You had Battle Hard in Taipei. They had 6 Aurora, 1 I think it was 1 Ira, 1 Reinar. So you have that meta to look at, which is the APAC region. Then you have the United States region, which is more along the lines of like a mix of like all different heroes, if I'm not mistaken. There's actually two. There's two Zens. My dog's going crazy somehow. There they are. Hey, why are you barking, big dog? Want to come up here and say hello? Come on. Chunky boy. You barking at something? You barking at something? My wife is rock climbing right now. Probably so every little sound that he hears is probably what's driving him crazy right now. So I apologize. I'm gonna have to just shut the door because they're not really like first. I'm not first human when my wife leaves, so she's first human. I'm always the spare human. Okay. So we could probably go ahead and I'll just leave this music on. It should be fine. It's just something in the background. So let's start the weekend recap, I figure like 10 minutes should be good enough for people who might want to trickle on in can listen. All right, so starting off, the weekend was pretty eventful. My wife has one of her best friends from Mexico. There we go. So much easier with this little grasper. I can do it from my connecting door here. So this office has like a door to the kitchen and to my right, and then it's just basically you can like loop around from the living room over there. All right. So my wife has a best friend over in Charlotte. So basically we had free lodging for the weekend. So that cut a lot of the cost as well as wanting to go. Hadn't gone to a Battle Hardened in quite some time. The last Battle Hardened I went to was Battle Hardened Columbus. That was a Living Legend Battle Hardened. And I took Kano that weekend. I went 4-3, I think. LL is so much different than CC in terms of that experience. But this is probably like the first time I've done it in like a few months, so I wanted to get some more experience into Battle Hardened, play some more. It's been a long time since I've done it. So we drive down 7.5 hours. From there we took both of our dogs because it's just easier to take our dogs, and my wife's friend has a little daughter. She likes to play with the dogs and then walk the dogs with my wife, so that was actually a good experience. So it's a win-win for me and my wife just to take everybody and go down there. So we go there Friday. So we took Friday and Monday off from work. The drive is not too bad, and getting there like Friday afternoon, kind of just set up my deck, make sure all my stuff is good, because I brought a few pages that I printed out for my deck sheet. I made sure all the cards were good. Before I left here, I made sure to take all the rainbow foils out that isn't dedicated to the deck. So things that I can't actively replace. I have 2 rainbow foils, Command and Conquers from Arc Unlimited that I opened up whenever I first started. I don't know if I want to replace those, but they have to stay in the deck because I don't have any other CNCs. So I'm going to have to keep those. Other than that, there's a handful of other rainbow foils that I just can't replace right now, but the promos that I had just gotten off of TCG players like Rootbound and Fruits of the Forest, I actually have to take those out because I don't want to get marked. I was noticing the foiling curl a little bit, even through double sleeving, which the double sleeving was on the outside of the sleeve as well as the sleeve inside. Just like the normal sleeve. There's no inner sleeve that I wanted to do with those. I don't want a triple sleeve, but I want to do double sleeve on the outer to protect the sleeve itself because it's the world's Verdant sleeves. So I was making sure to replace those, get the sheet done, and we head over, get our coffee in the morning, head over and greet some people that were going to be heading to the event themselves. One of them was a testing partner in the Discord that I play with. His name is Manuel. So we also see Agroblaze and a lot of other people who are casual players as well as pro team players as well. So like Taylor Crawford was there. Rhea Adams, I actually played against her. So Rhea was there. Michael Fang was there. Wan Ji Lee was there. So there's a lot of big names. So we bring Verdance. We've been doing pretty good with her leading up to this Battle Hardened. We had 2 road to nationals. We did 2 top 8s. So I was 2 for 2 with top 8s, which is what I felt was pretty good. And I actually did the RTN review. So if you want to watch that, I went live with that. But basically, I was 8th seed in one and 6th seed in the other. So I felt pretty good with Verdance. I just needed to tone it up just a little bit and change a little bit of the things going in once Viserai left. Basically, I took out the 2 Warmongers because I only had 2. I don't want to buy another one. So Warmongers left out of the deck. I kept all 3 Scours. So basically I kind of changed up my sideboard a little bit and then put the 2 Warmongers that I took out and replaced them with 2 Seeds of Tomorrow main board. They always stayed in main board, and then changed out the sideboard a little bit. So because of Prism being potentially in there, I had 3 red Fruits of the Forest. I didn't use it all Battle Hardened or Procrest because I actually didn't play a Prism. Thank God. Kind of spoiler on that, but let me bring up the actual list here that I've got so I don't mess it up here, because I had sent it. So, all right. Basically, the start of the weekend. Let me know if this music's a little bit distracting. If it is. So for the matchups beginning in the Battle Hardened, I was actually lucky to get a bye. It was like they said to the judges, to all of us, that it was 176 players. Now it's even. Why should I get a bye? But it was like initially it was an odd number, 181, 183, and then it happened to change last minute or something. Like maybe there was a few people dropped or something like that. I don't know. So I don't really exactly know the details, but I get the bye out of all the people. So that's good. We take an automatic win, though the breakers are different. I think with a bye, you actually can't compare a bye to someone else who has a different breaker than you. So I don't know how that actually works, but we'll take a free win. So that way I can scout. That's like the best thing to do, is to scout the entire area. And then I took the judge's word for it that I posted on Twitter. You may have not seen it. That it was 176 as being the biggest Battle Hardened that'll stand alone. That's incorrect. There's actually 2 before it that was bigger than that. One was Toronto. That was the past. It was 224. That was maxed out. So in Toronto, I want to say last year. And then 2023, there was one in Belgium. That was actually 226, if I'm not mistaken. So people in there was helping me out, making sure that it was the correct information. So we scout out and we actually get a rough idea of the player hero ratios of what people were bringing in. I had a very good idea that Aurora was going to be presented pretty heavily. Syndra was going to be printed heavily. Prism, because Viserai was Prism's worst matchup, or one of the worst. It was pretty miserable for her. She just cannot maintain a board with all the rune chants. Let's see. And then there's a possibility that Nu would be highly represented. This weekend for the Battle Hardened, Nu was actually 9 Nus that I personally counted. Again, there was some players that whenever I was going around counting the heroes, they didn't actually have their opponent in front of them because they didn't know where they were missing, things like that. Even to the point where I think that one of them that was missing, they got there too late, even to the point where it was a round 1 match loss for that opponent. That was like past the 10-minute mark or something like that. 5 minutes is like an IP2. So we get around and take a picture, get all the people in. So we get into the Battle Hardened with 1 win. So 1-0. So round 2, we go up against a Nu. For this one, it's actually a pretty shaky matchup for us. We can't actually put in one of our power cards. The fact that we can't put in one of our specialty cards, our spec cards, because we have to just use Ring of Roses, and then everything else is like the fact that we cannot use that. It sucks. Heartbeat of Cannahole has to come out of Nu. So what I did was basically put in 4 potions, take out the heartbeats, put in 2 Poison the Well, so that's my 6. Basically, that's the 6 that I put in for the blues, and then I put in 3 Shelter the Storms, and that's it. So that's the 9 cards that I do, because it's usually 54. So I'm taking out 3 extra cards, having 9 slots for those. And it turns out that this Nu was not CYB, but you just don't know. So after this matchup, I didn't put in CYB. Poison the Well, because I want to say that maybe all the Nus are just less CYB oriented and want to be more aggressive. So we go into this, and it doesn't seem to be very good for us. I don't know the exact details, but we did lose this one to the fact that We can't take out our autumn touches. We can't take out our blue forests because we just do not have the room to have replacements just for new. So that's 6 slots just for new. So we have to have some blue attacks put in there. That's just how it is. New's gonna have that way with Guardian as well. So it's a danger to let the Mistblade hit on certain things, like certain times when you can actually let the Mistblade hit because of also Enlightened Strike, or sorry, Blue Strike as well as, but that would just be what it would be. So I died to my own poison the well at the end. He's basically trying to fatigue me at that point because I think it was just 1 potion down, and this one was this wasn't CYB. This was AB3. Sorry, I'm thinking of AB3 Spell Void 3. So when it comes to that, we lose to our own poison the well because he activated new, and it was like I need to keep hands. I need to be able to keep my entire hand. I have enough life total so that whatever you do to me, if it's non-disruptive, I can survive to go to my turn so I can kill you. But that was basically it. The dagger forced me to say, oh, I need to block this. I didn't block it. It had go again for activating new, banishing a card off the top. It didn't really matter. I had the pieces in my hand to be able to combo on my turn next turn. But I had to block with some cards as well as survive, as well as like tossing some stuff. One of the Poison the Wells was stuck in my arsenal at the for like fucking 5, 6, 7, 8 turns. I don't know how long that thing was stuck in there. I actually had to use it. I had to do sigil and then play it from my arsenal right after that because it affects me as well. So I had to let the sigil resolve. I was like, I didn't see a CYB. I'm not going to be able to see a CYB. It's been so long. I'm just going to assume that you don't have it. So basically play it for no effect. And then one of them was banished, and that's what killed me whenever I tried to survive by like keep staying at 1. But at that point, I was already dead. Round 3 was Rhea Adams. She was right beside me when we were playing my round 2 new game, but she's on new as well. So I play her, and I'm sad because I get to go up against another new, and she's like, hi, Patrick. I was like, I'm sad. I have to play another new. So, she's also a little bit more aggressive, but it was lower AB, I think. So, more attack reactions. I think it was just AB1 Spell Void 1 or something like that, with like, maybe it was AB2 Spell Void 1 or something like that, because there's a lantern plus 1 piece of Widow equipment. I can't remember. With that, she was able to get a lot of life gain off of her just general attacks for stealth. It was like up to like 46, 47 at that one point because of just the banishing effects and stuff like that. It was not even particularly close. This one is actually like more like a life difference from just like the beatdowns basically. And again, at the end, it started just to the point where new was being activated to finish me off with my own blue attacks. I was trying to make it to where those were not in my graveyard as much as possible and then keep them for pitching for like maybe tree or something like that. But both of those 2 new games, I was suffering a lot. And the change of sideboard was no Poison the Wells, put in instead of 2 Poison the Wells, it was 2 mental blocks that I had in. So basically I was like, you know what, let me see if I can try mental blocks instead. But we did end up losing them. Losing that game, it was not particularly close. I'm struggling to know when to block and things like that. So this new potion roulette type of thing is not going well. So we go into this as a 1-2 at 2 and 3 rounds. You're pretty much not going to be top 8. Just those placements alone is not great. If you go into it 6-2, usually 6-2s are towards the end of the rounds, that if you lost them, then you would do it. Hey, I can't stay around, but I want to pop in and say I love your videos. I'll be watching the VOD later. Oh, thanks, Javier. Catch you later. That's 1 and 2. We go into round 3. We go up against Boost IE. So Adventure Extraordinaire. And this person was like very vocal, very nice person. Very comedic, kind of like just making sure he's like having fun because he was probably at the same record as I was. And at the beginning, he was like, "What's it? How much arcane barrier do I need?" And then basically brought in AB1. So that helped me with my trees to make sure that I was able to get a lot of damage towards him, as I can keep up with the blocks from him, as well as making sure my trees stay out. If the damage was better to not block, then I would do that. That's pretty much how I won that match. I was trying to go for a fatigue edge, but I saw that it was still open for AB1 to push a lot of damage, and I took that route, and it was able to win me the game that way. So AB3 would have made me be a little bit more fatigue in that round, in that area. Dio's harder to fatigue than Dash IE if it's just the boost dash package for both of those. So it's easier just to fatigue the Dash IE that way. So that's where I kind of just started out. I actually did, I think I went like, I pitched a plow under and I said gain 6 life because it was 2 heartbeats in my hand. So I go up to 46 turn 0 because I went first, and I just pocket like a felling, or I can't even remember what it was. And then I was able to block out a little bit, gain a little bit of life. I went up to 48 because I had a Fruits of the Forest. So no damage was done after the first turn. I was like, yep, I'll just block out and gain another 2 life, go up to 48. So it was pretty fun. It was I really liked the opponent. He was a fun opponent. So we get there. Okay, so round 5 was Vincent. This is actually probably my favorite matchup of the Battle Hardened. I don't know exactly of the entire round because there was a Florian, or sorry, not entire round, entire weekend. There's a Florian on ProQuest side. I like that one. That was a good game. So for Vincent, this is AB3, which is Diet Carapace and then Quill Hand with Face Purgatory and Creepers. So it's pretty standard with Reaping Blade. And this is actually Thomas from Siblings and Cardboard. It's actually my favorite podcast for Flesh and Blood to listen to. So shout out for those guys. If you have not listened to their podcast, please do so. It's on Spotify as well as YouTube. They have some really good content because of the fact that they do a market minute along with what's going on. And sometimes they're related to where your market minute, the market minute is related to the prices of what's going on in the meta, because we all know this is a player's game rather than a collector's game, but you still have a little bit of collector's edge. And then a lot of the stuff is from Noah, who's kind of like the vendor-ish person and does the market minute lookouts, things like that. Same as Javier. I'll be checking the VOD later. Subscribe to Pitch Deck, everyone. Thanks, Def. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. For Vincent, this is actually a pretty good game. I like this matchup a lot. It's very puzzle based because of the fact that you have to manage your cards as well as your life totals from your opponent. So I end up going first. I end up getting Ring of Roses turn 0, which is really good in any other matchup that isn't Reaping Blade. So that kind of sucks. But we still get that on there. So we just, play that. And I think just discard Twinning or something like that. That's what it did. And then just hold up, I think like a shelter and then a tree. So I pocket the tree, something like that. So with this, we got a good start. And then for yo card fight, what's going on? I should actually put up a chat box sooner or later. I'll have to do that next stream so that way you guys can see y'all's chat. All right, round 5. What's that, boo boos? We have a ghost in here. It's one of my dogs. Anyways, so we get a really good turn. 0, start out, put the ring on, and go from there. There's not that many details that I remember, but it is a bit of a puzzle, like I said, to manage the life totals, make sure that you're under Reaping Blade. He had some turns where you have to just basically play, or you have to banish, kind of set up a little bit, and that's why Vincent wants to go first to get the early setup, and then they can arsenal and go from there. So it's basically that where Thomas just sets up and things like that. Hang on one second. I want to change this. This is some weird music from that one. We end up trying to send 2 scours. We send 2 crippling scours within the match. I remember that. The 2 scours were pretty back-breaking to destroy the board and kind of like set them back a little bit. So he took a big hit on those, as well as getting some blood debt. So you can kind of like say, oh, if I can't go underneath, I'm going to make sure that you take a lot of blood debt. But then off of the creepers turns, you have to make sure that you can block out the arcane if there's a counter on it. More than likely, try to just hope that their deck isn't giving them the shadow cards that they need to proc the unpreventable arcane to keep the boots alive. I might actually have to get myself my my water bottle here soon. I know I did last stream. I needed it a lot. So I'll probably do it after this round. So the 2 scours were really detrimental to Thomas. I was able to get a lot of tempo from that to keep up the pressure. I also remember that creepers died very early. There was only 1 counter and it stayed for an additional turn, and then the following turn after that I killed it because it was just like ruin for like 1 rune chant, because he has to hard cast these gates to be able to push a little bit of damage because of the rune chants not being able to get come in for free. Because I think the Deadwood Dirges, as well as the Rune Blood incantations, they were at the bottom of the deck or a little bit more towards the mid game. So from there, I actually remember it was actually a pretty cool turn where we were both even life total, like 22-22, and he passes with like 1 blood debt in this in his banish zone. So before he takes the blood debt at the end of turn trigger, I just play Sigil, because what my turn is going to be is play Sigil, go up to 25. He's at 22. He takes the 1 blood debt, goes on to 21. I set up tree, pay for tree, and then I play a plow under and then decompose it, because it was gonna bottom my Sigil anyway. So I'm gonna get the free 3 life as well. So it's kind of hard the entire time. Sorry, my nose is itching like crazy. All right, that was actually a pretty cool turn. So I remember that turn very vividly. From there, at the end, we were able to close it out because we were making sure that Ring was actually doing a little bit of work towards the end of the game. I was not able to get online for this matchup. It took a lot of like managing my decomposes a little bit better, and I would have gotten there. But I remember towards the end when we were like single digits, and I was still at 6 earth in my banish zone. So, but we get there via the arcane, because he had to pop Quillhand like a little bit towards the in between mid to late game, so he can't pay for the pings when I was online. So that helped me out, because whenever I did have pings, he had to pay AB2 towards the pings, and that sucked for him. So we get there, we are 3-2, and people are noticing me all day. There was a person after this one that said, "Hey, you're the pitch tag, yada yada yada." So thank you for helping me out mostly with just Kano stuff. So 3 other people before that was like, "Hey, you helped me with Kano. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much." Kind of just, I was like, "No problem, guys. I know Kano's really hard. I kind of took the time and effort to make sure that you guys understand the hero a little bit better." So shout out to everybody who came out to me this weekend, made me feel a lot better. As well as I actually told Thomas the podcast is my favorite podcast. So shout out to those guys. I love Ring. Do you find getting an online versus Vincent is generally hard? Yes, typically it is. If you did see it like me in turn 0, it's not going to do much towards you. But unless they're very aggressive. So actually at the end, we were talking a lot, me and Thomas, that he may just do Tunic, because he did back-to-back Verdances, and he doesn't, he thinks that's one of his harder matchups, because it's hard to approach it a little bit with Scour being so detrimental towards the rune chance, that he may just do Tunic and race. Like, Tunic is strictly for creeper value, and then trying to set up a triple gate or quadruple gate rune gate turn. And you need a couple of like Deathly Wells and things like that in the banish. So that's the change that he wants to make, he said, if he found another Verdance this weekend. All right, so after that, Vincent, we went into Victor round 6. So Victor round 6 is typically very, very easy. It can be hard if they happen to find the right cards at the right time, as well as my hands, but that's not what happened. They have given up on doing anything above AB3 or AB2. So typically it's just AB1 that I've seen. Maybe others out there that are more fatigue guardians, which is AB3. But for this one, it was AB1. So we prioritized tree, and this poor opponent, I feel so bad for Victor. And we have a lot of these heroes in Flesh and Blood have that one hero or class that they don't do well against. And he even like audibly said, you know, this is miserable. Towards the end, when I had tree, I dropped him down to 2 because it was like surgeon into its destructive ether tide, and I blew up his arsenal. And then he's just conceded when he had only a couple of life left. So I was like, yeah, I get it, man. Kind of a rough situation there. So we were just basically back and forth prioritizing it through AB1. Kind of, you can kind of see the Victor matchup in my videos on the League That Means Nothing. So that was round 4 or something like that for that one. So it's on my VODs for that matchup. So we're now 4-2. We just want to try to play for tickets, try to play good games, basically. And now we get matched up on round 7. One more round after this to go. We go up against Syndra. Syndra lately has been a problem for me. I have been struggling with Syndra slightly. I have just a negative win rate into her. It feels like the RTNs, I have not been doing very well. So AB1 Arcane Lantern for this particular Syndra is correct, I think. In my personal opinion, I think it's correct. Because if we still have one card, which is a blue, and if we pay an Insurgent, and then we Mind Warp them, it automatically Mind Warps them if they don't have Lantern. Typically, Double Daggers is for Mopple lists, which is Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, when they want to do a bigger turn to just basically a big burst combo rather than mask value. So for this one, this actually went our way and we won. I think solely for the fact that he could not keep his dagger on the board whenever he saw a lot of his generic attacks, basically Ravenous Rabbles. He saw all 3 Ravenous Rabbles in the first 3 turns, which is super bad if you match it up with my Disruption. So that way he has no arsenal. He does not want to be able to play with an arsenal because of the fact that there's arsenal disruption in my my kit, which is CNC and Plow Under. You want to make sure you don't do any of that type of thing as much as they want, as if their hand allows it. So if I disrupt their hand by taking 1 card, if he has only 3 cards, having that Ravenous Rabble start, that is such a detriment to them because they can't get their dagger back. Even if it's 4 cards and they start off with Rabble, we have to block the 3rd. And that first, that last card in their hand, they have to pitch that to Syndra. So they have to pitch that to Syndra to get their dagger and flick it towards us. But still, that other, it technically doesn't do anything still anyways at that point. So these Ravenous Rabbles were helping us early in the matchup. We did see Ring a little early, I think. I can't remember if that's true or not, but I want to say Syndra seems to be one of our worst matchups. I think it's about 45-55 in favor of Syndra, in my personal opinion. I don't think it's that bad. You just gotta have to... I'm starting to get better to prioritizing blocks. Knowing what to block with Syndra is probably one of the things that is keeping her down. Like, there were 17 Syndra-ish, plus or minus 1 on that weekend for the Battle Hardened. None of them top 8'd. I don't know about the placements in like 9th to 16th place, but none of them top 8'd because I think people are starting to figure out how to block against her. And if that's all she's got going, I think people need to switch over to Mopple. I think that's just how it is. So we get there with getting online pretty fast. Typically in my historically, I'm not getting online quick enough, as well as not getting up to even 4 Earth in my Banish Zone because of the fact that my chest would not be online. We get there with getting online fast, as well as getting some arcane damage pings at the end, as well as his hands being clunky. I think one of the Mind Warps that I actually did as well turned off his turn. He just had to play Art of the Dragon Fire. Him not actually having fealties as well, he was struggling getting fealties. So like even Blood or Fire for the art cards, they were not helping him out at all. So it's hard to get those because, I mean, you do have Brand with Cinderclaw, but that was probably what helped me win the match, just because of the clunky hands from my opponent at the beginning. as well as just finishing out with arcane damage at the end. It wasn't like a stretch like of like being hard, but the life gain at the end, I remember sending heartbeats, getting some of those pings in. That helped me out a lot. I had back-to-back online heartbeats at the very end. So I was like, okay, gain three, back-to-back turn for the turns. And then he had to like take the damage because he doesn't want to do anything for pitching anything. So like that's Siege Rhino back-breaking, back-to-back Siege Rhinos, quote-unquote. That's how I value heartbeat. So we get there because of the clunky hands from my opponent. So we're now 5-2. So we're feeling pretty good. You're just feeling like we are playing a pretty good game. I know news are being our pretty bad matchups. So I'll take that over just, you know, all the other matchups. I just can't fucking win a goddamn game. It seems like. Our last opponent is new. So we happen to run into the last new of the day. I cannot remember how this one... we lost it. I just can't remember how it actually went for this new... Oh, he was actually really good. He did the exact same as the other shit. Like, where at the very end to finish me off, to put me off of, like, keeping my hand, he activates new to do, like, go again, free attack, go again, or, like, go again with the Mistblade, and then, like, free attack from my Banish Zone, and then another attack. When it's, like, 6 into 5... or 5 into 5, that's really detrimental. Like, I'm at a super low life because I can't keep up with how much damage that the new is putting out, and as well as blocking out to make sure I stay alive to keep my combo potential on my turn. That sucks. So we end up losing that one. So it's a very common theme between these three new matches that the new activation as well as the masks, some news were not bringing the masks, but I want to say these three may have done it, and then I've got another new the next day. So we end up the entire day 5-3 at 35th place, which that seems fine to me. With how high the numbers are for the player count, I was completely fine with that. Being that it's just one matchup that I need to like hone in and change, then my entire game plan should be fine. But so going 5-3, 35th place is actually not that bad. You know, I don't mind about the tickets. I just want to play good games basically, because the tickets aren't really that great whenever it's just a battle hardened and there's not really anything on the wall that I want to get. It's just that heavy blue decks give new a hero ability. Exactly. New kind of just shuts off her hero ability whenever it comes to like Bolton or Syndra, things like that. All right, so I finished day one. I'm gonna go get some water real quick. I'll be right back. All right. Yeah, the blue heavy decks are definitely going to give new a pretty bad time. Or sorry, she's going to give them a pretty bad time. Like kind of like Valda. I'm actually hyper Valda. Depending on what they give the Guardians. But just in general, I think she's going to be really cool. I'm just going to leave it open like this. All right, so after that, I'm feeling pretty good. We go into the Pro Quests. This one is going to be 70 players. The Pro Quest actually has 7 rounds We thought it was gonna be 6, but it's 7 rounds. So I was like, cool, more games to play. I don't really like, if I don't top 8, I just want to play games. I don't really care about the record. I don't care about elo. I just want to play Flesh and Blood because I'm there to have a good time. I drove 7.5 hours. I paid the money. I want to just, play and actually have a good time. So first round is Dio for my ProQuest, for the ProQuest Plus. I don't have too much experience in Dio, but I know exactly what to do in the plan. Damn, that's a big event. Yeah, for the ProQuest, it's actually not that bad. I've for the ProQuest Plus, so it's actually a little bit of a better, higher end ProQuest. So for this one, basically they bring in 72 and we bring in 60. We bring in our best blocking 60, but I did keep in my rampant, so that's one thing I would change out, or probably take out sigils. But you don't put in pots, you just bring in your best blocking cards and try to fatigue. And I was actually doing a pretty good job of that. I gained a lot of life at the beginning, turn 0. I was able to get some, like 5 life or something like that. So I was actually get some good life at get the buffer there for Dio. It seemed like it was doing well for us because of the fact that we were keeping the life total, and basically their life is their deck size. Otherwise, you don't need to send any damage. And it's actually kind of a boring match to play because of that. I don't want to block just to have you mill yourself out. So he was doing pretty good. He's actually a pretty nice guy, pretty chill. So I enjoyed his game, but we end up losing. Here's why. There was a turn towards the end of the match where he plays this thing called Polarity Reversal Script. It's not Pin Script, that is the yellow item. This is the red item that reduces all action cards by -1 defense when it's defending a Mechanologist attack. I want to say he had at least a couple more grenades in there. He was able to banish a Fast and Furious to get it to go to 2 counters on it later on. So it just came in with 1 counter. He got it up to 2 counters, so it stayed in longer, which put in a lot of work. I think I had gotten a lot of my defense reactions finished off, as well as my armor for early nades, so I don't take a lot of damage. He banishes 2 of his max Vs, so that was actually to help me out. So it kind of sucks to have that be one of the main plans to go up against fatigue. But this is actually a new experience that I had not played before against Dio, is the Polarity Reversal Script. He only had 1. So without that item, he even said that he would have lost. He would have not have done it. The final turn that played out was basically was a max V turn. He actually found it and put it into his arsenal. Even if it wasn't max V, that was the last attack. Habani Blaster was actually putting in a lot of work. Habibi is what that's what he's calling it. I think it's Habani, but he's just nicknaming it Habibi. It's actually putting in a lot of work. For the Overpower pistol. So he had like 1 card left in deck whenever he did like the 3 boosts, and then the max V, he had like 1 card. So I don't know if it was like, because there was still Habani Blaster off of, like, if there was, I blocked this one out, and then there's a possibility that I'd still survive, still die even if it wasn't a max V, because I was like at 4 at that time. So I was like, I had 2 cards on my arsenal card, and I don't have anything. The Polarity Script was still on the fucking battlefield arena. Like, holy shit, that thing was putting in work. Anyways, we don't get there. So we start out with a 0 to 1. So we have to submarine our way the entire time. We have to win. Every single one from here on out, we have to win. We start off good with that plan, getting into round 2 with another buy allocation. I don't know what it is about me getting the buys this weekend, but we'll take the free wins. So there's not much to scout. I don't particularly care because I needed to, I had to use the restroom. So basically you have to go up and then up the escalators, go past it, because the one inside in the convention is always full. You always have people waiting. It doesn't really matter. Like I have 55 minutes, but I still want to go all the way up there and then come back down, and then I'm gonna eat a little bit of extra breakfast that I was waiting on because I only ate like half my sandwich, my bagel. So I finished that out, and we went into round 3. Round 3 was Syndra. This one was the Mopple list. Throughout the game, I was still blocking like it was Mask of Momentum because I forgot that it was Mopple. However, that's still fine. You can keep kind of like the initial kind of play pattern to make it second nature, that you're blocking certain ways that a Mask of Momentum deck Syndra would do. And I remember that this one actually, I took a lot of time in between like trying to figure out what the blocks are actually going to do. That's why I keep Stonewall in my deck, because of Syndra being so heavily represented. Stonewall helps out so much. This game, it got me like 5 value. There was a Wrath of Retribution turn that I did get that on, but I think the game started out with him doing like a Spreading Flames turn, or he played Spreading Flames to begin with whenever he went first, but he pitches for it and has 2 cards. So don't know exactly if that was correct or not. But for this deck, I think they have a few more blues. They go up to like 6 or 9 and then have a few extra yellows because of Salt the Wound. Over Head Jab does not usually run Salt the Wound. So they have a little extra pitch because of the daggers that they want to use. He had 81 Tide Flippers and double daggers. So for this one, we were just basically playing the back and forth where he takes a lot of damage, or sorry, I take a lot of damage, but then it doesn't look like I have taken a lot of damage when I'm finished with my turn because I gain life in order to do damage. That's what Verdance likes to do, is at the end of my turn, whenever I'm finished, because of it's a turn cycle of like turn 1, me and you, turn 2, me and you type of thing, I will be closer because I'm finished with my turn and now you've taken damage, but you may have tempo still. And I want to be able to take the damage and disrupt my opponent. So I was doing that pretty effectively with trees and things like that. Again, I don't remember all the details, but I do remember certain things like the Wrath turn where he actually blows his Mask of the Pouncing Link towards the end because it is a Wrath turn towards the end. He does like attack, ignite into Wrath. I think this was a 4-card turn if I'm not mistaken. And then he plays Wrath, and then he does like the daggers and flicks the daggers, or he gets another dagger because he wants to get his dagger back. So he flicks him, the Syndra gets back the both daggers. All right, cool. The first dagger, I Stonewall. I have to Stonewall this. It stops the chain, but it doesn't necessarily matter because it can matter just a little bit because of Salt the Wound turns, potentially. So I'm thinking, okay, this is the big turn. This is it. So I'm going to Stonewall this dagger here. And then after the daggers, because they have to just come in for 1 each, the one after that one and the one after this one. So because he bought them back after that block, he has to keep the chain link open. So he does dagger, dagger, take one, and then there is what's it called? Blaze Hedgehog. So it's now coming in for 0 for 3, so I can block that out. That's fine. Then there was an, or it's either I take that or something because he does pop. I take that because he pops Mopple on that turn, on a Stonewall turn, which I don't know if that was correct, which I don't think it is, but he's probably so low in life that he just wants to push damage. It was a Lava Burst that he actually searches for. I think about it for a little bit because I'm a little bit low, and I think I block it a little bit if I can't remember. But then it's either I block it or I don't, and then he pops his Tide Flippers for a prowess, or the prowess aura, so that way he can get up to 5 cards next turn, I think. Or no, you have to attack 4 turns, or yeah, 3 or 4 turns, and then you get the draw card. So it's not automatic. So it's not like it's an automatic draw card at the beginning of your turn. So he plays that at the end, which I'm not exactly sure what that was about for, like doing the popping that, but it actually allows us to gain the value of Ring because I was able to play it during this match. So it was actually like doing all this stuff to be able to make sure that I get the value of the AB, and then I kill him because he doesn't have any AB, because I was able to bring him down to like kill range off of Pulsing Ether. So we're able to get the back and forth off of a Mopple deck, which is pretty nice. Oh, also, I do remember this. During the turn, during the game, it was in the mid game, kind of in between early to mid. He arsenals and he says Arsenal, and I sell him Arsenal. Then he draws up 5. Then I'm looking at my turn, I'm looking at my cards, and then look at the state. And then he doesn't have an Arsenal anymore. He accidentally picks it up. He picks up all of the cards on accident in his Arsenal, so he has 5 cards in his hand. And then he's like, oh shit. So we call a judge. We call the judge over. It's actually the head judge. So he's like, okay, cool. I accidentally put my Arsenal into my hand, and then we both verified that that's what happened. Yes, that's what's happened. I remember him actually verifying and saying it out loud, Arsenal and pass. So there is a change because he knows what he put in an Arsenal. I didn't. So that's the thing. It's he knows what he put in Arsenal. He can change what his Arsenal is. How the judge basically solved this situation was he laid out all 5 cards. I get to choose what he puts in his Arsenal and then go from there. He doesn't give him any warning. It's actually a pretty interesting idea on what you guys think would be good. And then I checked with another Syndra who I play with, who actually is a Mopple Syndra. So actually it's like, hey, is that right? Type of thing. So it was, of the 5 cards, it was Rising Resentment, Twin Twisters, Throw Dagger, which is a blue 0 cost attack reaction, Snatch, and then Art of the Dragon Blood, the cost reduction one that's a 0 for 4, and then all of them just -1 on the cost. So think about it for a little bit. I'm not necessarily taking a starter by saying, oh, Rising goes into the Arsenal. That's not like it's like put it on top or bottom type of thing. So I can't do that. Don't do that. Snatch really isn't going to do anything. I don't think that there was a fealty, so I'm kind of like just basically walking myself through the turn. Blues are more effective in your hand with Mopple than it is into your Arsenal. So I take the blue. I was like, okay, you know what? After thinking a while, I'll put the blue into my into the Arsenal. Cool. That's cool. All right. So I gain 2 Fruits of the Forest, and then I'm able to send Felling for 4 because it's at the beginning of the game. So I can get 1 card out, and he'll just take the 4 damage, right? I think he bottoms Twin Twisters because he does have a Snatch, and then he draws off Throw Dagger with the I think it's a Blaze Hedgehog. So we were able to get that sorted out, but that was one of the things I remember. And so I was thinking that the blue actually could change a little bit because of the fact that there is a Throw Dagger that he can either change into another card for 1 more free damage or have 2 damage that's used for daggers. So it could have been, I don't know if that was the right event, but sorry. I have been on the Syndra game too long. Sorry about that. This is round 4. So now we are 2 and 1 because of the bye. So we got to keep submarining our asses off. Round 4, we go up against a new. I do not like this at all. I do not like new after I'm even more hesitant about this matchup. How I went 0-3 last day, yesterday. So we side in like normal. We put in the potions, shelters, and mental blocks, and then take out the heartbeats. That's pretty much our sideboarding into new. However, we get a deck check, a randomized deck check. They say, hey, we're going to get your decks, so we're just going to do this really quick. So they take about 11 minutes according to their calculations because they give it to us and then it's like, hey, shuffle really well. We're going to give you 11 minutes. That's what it took. It's like, okay, boom, 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 boom. Nothing's wrong with the decks. What really was, this one was AB3, which was actually pretty good for us. AB3 Spell Void 3, because I want to say he does have dual daggers. The Mark Dagger as well as Misplaced. So that actually feels a little bit better not having his full equipment suite and it's just Tunic because of the mask being kind of annoying a little bit. This particular new was CYB. So I was like, okay, after seeing for sure no CAYBs yesterday, I'm definitely not putting in Poison Wells. So it kind of sucks that he was CYB and I don't have the Poison Wells in my sideboard or in my deck from the sideboard. There was a turn in the game where I'm putting out all my potions. I get all of my potions out. All of them are out. All 4. What happens was I keep one of the rampants in my deck because I pitch it in the beginning. Then I don't see the other 2, and then I draw up one of them's in my hand. He only I did some disruption, and he only has 2 cards. 3 cards. He pays for surgical extraction. He has 1 card, 1 floating. Again, he cannot do anything with his equipment suite for like reactions, things like that. So I'm thinking maybe, okay, well then why didn't he pay for dagger? So we're just gonna block 4 because I have a reaction in my arsenal, but he has the +1 G. I cannot remember. Path well traveled, something like that, I think. So I'm like, shit, I should have blocked with something plus the reaction just to make sure that my rampant growth stays alive in my hand. I didn't think it through good enough. The top of the card that he banishes along with it is another rampant. 2 rampants gone in 1 turn. I only have 1 left in deck. It does not matter how many potions or anything like that happens to go in. After that turn, I was like, yeah, I think I pretty much lost the game on the spot because of that. So lesson learned, protect your rampants with all that you hold dear. Because I had like a felling in my hand, so I could have just at least blocked with like a tree. I think it was tree felling, rampant, and a blue, and then I could have just protected myself. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I could just pocket the rampant so he doesn't know that it's underneath it instead of pitching it to Surgeon. So I'll lose that on the spot. I do try to do the most damage I can. I get a tree out during my own turn for combo. He brings Oasis in this game. So he had used one earlier and then pitched like a couple of them. So he combo turn, I have a tree to try to get as much amp as fucking possible. Again, we were a little bit late because of the deck check, so we have people around us. So I'm able only just to amp 19. Let's see, because I have to let the first rampant growth go, and then I have to play it again off of Plume, and then the tree's in there, so that's amp 3, and then now we're healing what, fucking 7 and then 8, which is 15. Yeah, so 19 because of the 1 damage from Surgeon naturally. So that's 19. He Oasis and then AB3s. That's it. He doesn't do Spell Void, and then he does the Spell Void AB3 on the following thing because I have the potion. I don't have a 0 cost like Zap. I have to use a Scalding, Emeritus Scalding blue, and I still don't get there. Like, he could have prevented 10 from what he did. AB3, Spell Void B3, as well as Oasis. He doesn't do it. I was like, I'm surprised that you actually didn't do it there. He's like, yeah, naturally I could have just done it, but I just want to make sure that guarantee that I'm not going to die. But basically he won that way. I was like, you got this. Basically, I conceded. Off of that 1 turn alone to protect my rampants, I probably could have just won off of that because I had this set up. But we go in to round 5 against a Aurora. I got pretty much smoked. Nothing too crazy on this one. Not even a single channel Lightning Valley, and he still kills me. It's just one of those things that just Aurora just has the tempo and beats me into submission. I can't remember anything specific about this matchup, really, that was like defining on why I died. I think it's just me not knowing how to block very well naturally. I come from Wizard and not necessarily the Guardian aspect of Verdance. So maybe that's something I need to work on, especially if I'm going to be interested in Valda. So I think I need to learn the value of blocking and like kind of like evaluate my hand a little bit better. When should I take damage against Aurora? I think he did see some Arc Lightnings during that game. He still doesn't even have his like new cards, and he still beat me. So it's not like I did struggle with Aurora last Pro Quest season when Rosetta was just the newest set. So I got like back-to-back Auroras and I still died. Like I'm it's one of those ones that I'm struggling to understand the matchup. Maybe I need a little extra reps into it. So we lose that Aurora matchup. We go up against, so yeah, we're now like pretty bad. 2 and 3 at this point. 2 and 3. I just want to keep playing. Even if I didn't let that get these games put a sour like the rest of the day to make me in a bad mood. I'm just like, let's keep playing. Let's keep playing. I want to just keep playing. Like if I get another fucking bye, I'm gonna fucking lose it. I just want to play. God damn it. Okay, so we go into a Mario Arachne Marionette. So with this one, this Mario matchup was actually a little bit interesting. We were both messing up a lot. My opponent was, let's see if I can remember the equipment. I want to say it was definitely not Mass, so it's AB1, Spell Void 2, or Spell Void 1, Flick Knife stayed, Boots. So I want to say it was all, yes, all but the Flick Knife. So AB3, Spell Void 3. I put in a little bit of emphasis on trying to do combos at the end. I didn't put potions in because it's more tempo aggro based. He was messing up on not flipping his hero at the beginning of his first hero flip, and then we had to call the judge, which was like, hey, what do we do? I've just done my first action of my turn after we realized he didn't flip into the brood. It's actually a mandatory trigger that your opponent does. So he basically said, just go ahead and flip it now. After a debate with the head judge, he said, yes, go ahead and roll. Even though you saw one card, just go ahead and roll. We both were okay with that. He said he was sorry. He didn't know. He didn't mean to do that on purpose. But he turns into Black Widow, and I have an Arsenal. And I was like, I thought for a split second, I was like, maybe should I take this back? Because it was going to be pitch Rampant, play Surge, or to do Surgeon. I got 2 cards. Maybe he pitches something. He takes it, and I just play Sigil. And then he ends up banishing my Arsenal, which was a tree. I was like, you know what? You know what? It did actually fucking matter that, you saw that. I could have just reverted my own turn. I would just play tree and then had a counter on there. So I could take away your hero ability, quote unquote. Aurora seems impossible to guard effectively if your deck isn't built to block. Yeah. I mean, well, it just depends on how you block, really, I think. And I'm struggling with that, I think. So for this Mario, he's messing up, not making sure that his daggers are being flicked properly because he's playing these retrieve cards and he keeps forgetting to flick them. So I still end up losing this matchup, but he has a one big pop-off turn where I try to block a dagger that's already pumped, and then he plays Tarantula Toxin on my block, so I take 10 damage on one turn. So there's a lot of damage options that Mario has. It's not mostly banish stuff, but it is blocking stuff, or I'm sorry, kind of pumping our attack reactions. And there's things that I'm messing up where turn 0, I could have had fucking Ring on the battlefield or the arena. If I had blocked correctly, it was dagger off of mental blocks. So I'll block both of those, and then he sends the Widow the Widow stealth card, the 0 for 3, that if you've marked and it hits, it banishes a card. I can't remember the name. And then I block with Felling because I can't really do anything with the Felling at the beginning of the game, and then he flicks the dagger to mark me and I can't do anything, so I end up taking 1 damage over. And I forgot about that, and then I banished the only card that's in my hand, which was fucking Ring or something like that. I can't remember because it might have been block, and then stuff like that. It's like, shit, I can't fucking play the Ring. It's things like that. I probably just don't have enough reps, maybe. I haven't been putting a lot of reps into the newer matchups. So we still end up losing. We tried to get our last raw damage, but it just doesn't do anything. There's not that much stuff that I can remember in great detail in terms of late game. So we end up losing that. So now 2 and 4. Again, give me good games. I don't care. Actually, this last game was my most fun game the entire ProQuest Plus. It kind of I don't know which one was better, Vincent the day before or this Florian match, but it's actually pretty cool. Again, Reaping Blade. I think it was Diet Carapace, Face Purgatory. I can't remember the other equipment. It's definitely Grasp, I think. And then something else with the boots, maybe Creepers. I can't remember. But because I don't remember a lot, because she was actually not doing a whole lot except for blocking and trying to set up. So it's maybe like an OTK plan, especially the fact that I saw 2 of the ninth blade being pitched. So I was like, okay, maybe she's trying to go for a higher end damaging combo. So I try to actually pitch stack. I've been pitch stacking the entire game. So I play all 3 scours. So it's a good thing that I kept all 3 scours in, and I think I'm still going to play all 3 after this weekend. I was thinking about going down to 2 copies of scour, but I think all 3 is actually still pretty good. So all 3 scours get really good value. From there, throughout the entire match, she doesn't really do anything. I have to actually play cards like Fruits of the Forest and Heart without any value, just so I can get some earth into my graveyard for some certain things, as well as I can't do anything with my entire hand. I'm pitch stacking fucking reacts because she's not attacking me. So I'm having to pitch stack that. I'm having to pitch stack my Rampant Growth because I actually did see them early first cycle together. So I was actually to get like ramp, like Sigil, and then I saw like a Pulsing Ether, and then I saw like a yellow Carapace and things like that. So I'm using my Kano pitch stacking techniques to remember. I'm just counting the pitch itself, not necessarily the cards left in deck. But we have to go around to 3rd cycle to try to do something. But it just actually turns into just me doing a lot of chip damage because she can gain life. It's not a lot of life gain in that deck. So a lot of the Arcane Seed's life was used early at the beginning of the game to try to get the rune chant generation. She was able to turn online like mid game, so she was getting the Malefic incantations, but they were set up towards the end of the game. I was at 40. She didn't do a single point of damage, and she was at like maybe teens area of me doing some damage. I burned my Plume of Evergrowth to get back a 4th tree. That's how much I'm trying to chip her down if I can't get my life underneath Roping Blade. So it's actually getting a little bit dicey because she was taking a lot of damage to do so. I was thinking, I don't know if I can be able to finish this, because one of the things that you need to do for Runeblade, I've done it before with Vis, so it's a little bit dicier with Vis than when it comes to Florian. Florian, you can actually take your time, is that if you need to kill with like a amped up arcane attack, you need to make sure that they have enough rune chants, which they did whenever they sent an attack. You need to make sure that these rune chants are getting you life. You take 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage. Okay, you still have rune chants on the stack. You can choose how many rune chants you're actually taking, so that way you're underneath, like maybe double rampant. So you can go life. Okay, now we're even. Life again from that, or like Sigil, things like that. You have to make sure that those rune chants are actually chewing away at the life total that you want. But like, so because like if you cannot kill them with amp from Rampant Growth to try to go over their AB for lethal, if they're just sending physical attack, that sucks. Like this was pretty bad about that. Sometimes they just send physical lethal with no rune chance on the stack and go again. I'm like, shit, I can't do anything, type of thing. So we were able to, during the combo turn, we went all the way down to 1 on purpose. My opponent was out like 2, I think. So she sent 25 rune chants and 4. So we take those. We take the 4, which was like a Revel and Runeblood. No, sorry, not Revel. I literally cannot remember the fucking card. 0 for 4, go again off of, and then it has the multimodal if you get 3 rune chants. Anyways, I cannot remember what that card is off the top of my head. So she sends that, so it's 4 go again off the 25 rune chants. So I take that. That's 29 damage. I go down to 11, and then she sends Plow Under and 6 rune chants because it has go again, and then the 6 rune chants because she's online, and then the 3 Malefics that were popping finally because she was able to attack had some 6 rune chants. So I sat down this, I was thinking, okay, you have 1 more resource left over and 1 more card. So there is the possibility that I can kill you this turn. because I can still send, I think they were maybe at five or something like that. I can't remember. Or it was underneath because of the 2. Yeah, it was 2 because I remember if I pay into nodes for this blue Scalding in my hand, I can go over you just having AB3. So there is the possibility that it could kill. I don't know exactly if there's anything else, so I double check our graveyard, see if there's all 3 shelters being played to be able to like pay for pings and shit like that. Like Surgent Tree, stuff like that, so they can AB4 technically, and there's no pump. So I was like, okay, hang on, let me think about this for a second. Let me take all 6 of those arcane. There's 6 physical. I wanted to think about the decompose because the rune chant comes in for the decompose, rune chants, decompose, and then the attack. It was a rampant growth life in my arsenal. So I was like, okay, can I do anything with this? Do I want to respond to this decompose? I was like, okay, no, I don't want to respond because I have a sigil in my hand. I can probably kill on the next turn. So here's what I do. There's 6 coming in. I'm at 5. I block with Tunic, and she's still at 2, so I can't pump at all for life because I have a sigil in my hand. So I block with Tunic, and then I have a shelter. I discard it. I take only 4. I go to 1, so I'm under her life total, and that's it. I pitch to Surgeon. She takes it to 1 on my turn. I keep the sigil in my hand, and then I pocket the Scaldings because I know that my pitch stack is coming up close. So I end up just doing a 1 single rampant growth. And she's like, oh, you were trying to go underneath my life. I was like, yeah, exactly. So I was able to send Emeritus Scolding for 7. So the entire time I was pitch stacking, like even to 3rd second, and I was basically telling her that. I was like, yeah, I don't think I've ever met I've never actually like met or played against somebody who pitch stacked so well. I was like, yeah, you know why? I was like, I actually came from like 18 months of pitch stacking Kano just straight already. I was like, I was already mentally prepared. She's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And then she also indicated that this was actually her favorite match of the ProQuest as well. So like, you don't get a lot of cards to strip each other. You're doing your own plan. Like, sure, you get some cards stripped, but they're not necessarily banished or in your graveyard. Like Plow Under and Felling, they just go underneath your deck. So when you can actually play a fair game, the Earth Heroes are really fun, and it's so fucking nice to be able to play something that just doesn't take away your game plan. Fatigues bore the shit out of me with Dio. I'm sorry, but I do not want to be blocking block cards. Like, sure, there might be a little bit of finesse with blocking. Like, say for instance, old him, where he was like using Crown of Seeds, Peace of Mind, Rampart, maybe a little bit of Oasis, things like that. That might be a little bit different, and you can kind of pitch deck your Oaken Olds too when you maybe kind of ate some armor away, because you may have just doing Sledge or Icy Winter's Well for 4, something like that, right? Holy Giga Combo Batman. I saw that earlier. I was just basically trying to get the story down before I finished it, but yeah. I went 3-4, and pretty much during that game, Aggerblaze and his people was watching me play and pretty much try to finish out the game. So I was like, not a great day. I think it just has to be one of those things where I need to improve. I don't know exactly what happened between those two. You know, I was doing pretty good with the Vincent, Victor, Syndra, and things like that. The ones that I won that wasn't new on the Battle Hardened compared to the ProQuest, so I don't exactly know. And I wish I kind of had recorded it, but I did bring my shoulder cam, but the only way to record it is with this GoPro right here. There's not a attachment that I can attach to my phone, because I have a phone holder attachment that I can screw on, but I don't have the screw part to go attached to the shoulder mount itself. Otherwise I probably would have just like streamed it live. But it was actually pretty fun. That one for the ProQuest, I also placed 35th place. So both of those tournaments was 35th place. It's actually getting a little bit hot in my room, but yeah, that was pretty much my entire weekend. I just wanted to play some Flesh and Blood, so I think it was like 8-7. Yeah, 8-7. So it's a little bit past 50% win rate. So I got to improve it a little bit better. But after after what I've been doing with like the road to nationals, that feels good. What I've been doing online with some online tournaments have been feeling good. So maybe it's just one of those tournaments that I don't feel good about. You know what I'm saying? Like 4 tournaments and then 1 tournament that I don't like. So I feel like that's fine. I feel like you can have one of those bad days, quote unquote, tournaments. And then the meta just fucking hates you because I'm fucking new. But at least my buddy who was the Dio, he went in top 4 for the Quest. So Emmanuel being 6-1, going into the, I think 4th or 5th seed. He beats Aurora and then loses to another Aurora, which was Matt W. I don't know who fucking won the ProQuest, man. I would like to know. So he ends up winning. So Dio seems like it's a pretty good contention because of the fact that Rose Smith actually went undefeated both in the Battle Hardened and ProQuest during Swiss with her Dio list. I think it was 7-0 and then 8-0. So she can like go undefeated during Swiss, but then loses in the quarterfinals. So it was interesting to see that Dio has some legs. So Warmongers might come back in. Warmongers helps out a lot that they actually can't use the items off the top. So they just have to banish it anyways, right? It's just one of those things that just helps you out, making sure that you can force the Dio not to play anything out of their hands, because then maybe their hand just fucking sucks. Things like that. It lowers the amount of damage that the Dio does, as well as banishing automatically from those items off the top. So it may go back in. It may go back in. I don't have anything going on in terms of tournaments within the near future. There was a very possible RTN that was like yesterday, but I'm not doing it. It was like in Virginia somewhere, like Morgantown, Virginia, West Virginia, but it was on a Tuesday, so I don't want to do that and drive back. So this is pretty much my road to any tournaments coming up. I would have to see. The only thing that I'm looking forward to is probably Nats in Las Vegas. I was actually talking with my wife, looking at some prices for that. I don't know if anybody else is gonna be going to Nats. Let me know in the chat if you are thinking about that. I have to turn this fan on. There we go. Kind of sucks to pull the string. But Verdance has been feeling pretty good. I'll make some changes over the weekend. There will be a new plan to Battle New. So we're gonna try a new sideboard for the new matchup. And we're gonna keep it on the download just to see if we can't do anything. Right now, I'm actually not that invested after this weekend into Flesh and Blood right now. I have been trying to get the mindset of trying to create my book. I'm trying to write a book, a fantasy novel. Too expensive for me, unfortunately. Yeah. It was like Delta was looking at like 500 for the flight or something like that, so it's not too bad. Southwest was also 500, a little over 500. I don't want to do Southwest if I can do a better deal with Delta. I have to like look at all the prices and things like that. I would have to take Thursday after work if I can get a later flight. Get a Airbnb that's shared. I would have to see who's wanting to go off of my testing Discord to get a big Airbnb maybe. And then I would want to fly back on Monday. So if I'm only taking Friday and Monday off again off of work, that should be fine. Because typically we have 15 days and then 3 more days afterwards. So about 18 days or give or take, or 15 total. I can't remember. Something like that. So I'm already 2 down, 2 down from this year. I'm not going to London because that's just too far away and that's even more too expensive. I would like to go because I'm a pretty big Doctor Who fan. I love Doctor Who, so I'd like to go to London. My wife's actually been to London and things like that. She was on there for business, so she took a small business trip over there for about a week or so. Right now she's rock climbing. Yeah, And then I did see Dozer there, so I was able to see Dozer. I didn't actually talk to him because he's busy with his Prism gaming. And a lot of my Verdance games, I didn't have a lot of time to do anything right after that. So like after I was done with any of my Verdance games, if I had to go use the restroom really quick, I was like, hey, how much time do we have? Because they didn't actually put a clock. They just put the normal time. So like, oh, it is this time basically, and not the actual timer. And then I think they started doing it in the ProQuest rather than the Battle Hardened when the round would actually end on what time. So that was a bit annoying to try to just like guess when the round was going to end. We'd have to ask constantly. It was actually pretty cool to see a lot of people there. So, unfortunately, during the first day for the Battle Quad, and I had to I forgot my mat. So I was like, oh shit. I got to the convention center and I was like, well, my wife was like, hey, did you leave a mat? I was like, yeah, I did. So fortunately for me, it's actually not in here. Oh wait, hang on. Yeah, here it is. I bought a Magic the Gathering mat for 40 bucks. So I was like, shit, there's 40 bucks that I didn't want to spend, that I had to spend. It's actually pretty cool because it's Thoughtseize. So I know Thoughtseize. I came from Magic, so. And the artist signed it. Let's see, right there. So he signed it for free with the buy of the mat. So that's pretty cool. I was like, okay, cool. You know what? If it's gonna be any mat, I'd rather it be this. To be fair, I'd actually like the Seasons Past artwork on a mat and then have the artist sign it. That'd be badass. For those of you who do not know, which it seems like that might be pretty much a lot of people, if not all, my favorite Magic card is Seasons Past. I love Seasons Past Control. After seeing it for Shadows of Over Innistrad, that Pro Tour, when Finkel took that to the top 4, I think. Let me see. I think that's his name, Finkel. John Finkel. No, it was not Michael. John Finkel. He's actually a pretty cool pro player, but I think he's retired and he's working for Wizards or something like that. I think. That shit was fucking awesome. I was like, holy shit, what is this new deck? People are bringing it out of nowhere. This is insane. I love this deck. So Seasons Past would be a fucking awesome because it's tree based as well. I'm guessing I'm not really much of a tree hugger, but I like a lot of trees, but just the artwork of trees is pretty badass. So Seasons Past is pretty cool. But I had to force myself to buy that because I didn't want to play the entire week without my mat, or at least that day. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll take it. Fuck it. Thoughtseize is pretty badass. Yeah, that's pretty much the weekend. I guess I could play some games. Would you guys like to see that? We need to. Let's go and pause the music. And if you guys want to ask about my book, you can also ask about that too. I really don't know too much about it because I'm still kind of writing stuff about it, trying to figure it out myself as well. We need to change my deck before we even get into it. Let's sign in. Hang on. Okay, there we're good. If it's new, then I won't play new. That's pretty much the only thing that's changed. Oh wait, this is Blitz. People are probably playing for Skirmish season. That's pretty much what it is. I could do Living Legend. Actually, let's take a look at what events around me are Living Legend for Skirmish, because I might play Kano. If I could pitch that Kano, I'd be fucking happy. Oh, actually, you know what? I didn't mean to push the profile, but let's see what Elo I fucking played. So for the Elo on the Battle Hardened, I gained 14 Elo. For the Pro Quest, I lost 23. Yep, I lost 23. The biggest loss of the biggest loss for Elo was the Dio on round 1. I'm focusing learning on Verdance this week, and next I want to lock in a ProQuest hero, but in between more leaning version of Folks List. Hang on, I think my wife's here. 1 second. Yeah, my wife's here. My dog's about to go crazy. Yep. So we went up against cool. All right, let's do some blitz. Let's do like 1 game. Let's do like that. Oh wait, we have to do the February to change the deck. Actually, we have to get the link as well. Let's do that. Let's do that. All right, switch over to display. I do not want to play new, thank you. Or Enigma, thank you. My wife's about to come in, so I'm gonna mute when they bark. This would be a good game. I'll be down for this. I don't know if they're down for it, but I'll be down for it. We don't need mental block. I guess we'll just have to do this. We're just gonna have to do no webcam because I can't get it to do my Elgato. This is a fucking hand. Let's go. Let's go. Gain a fucking 6 life and pass. I'm moister than a fucking oyster right about now. Yeah, if I mute, then it's gonna be the dog, so I'm gonna do that real quick. This is Mask of Momentum, so we gotta make sure we block on this one here. Flick Knives with Kodachis. So we could probably block with this. Make sure the Kodachis don't flick and then they'll lose it, and then we'll play CNC and then pocket the Sigil. Pitch stacking, which card? Beaker. Hey, that's my fucking shoe. Get it from his mouth. All right, we got this for 6. No. We won't pitch that card.
He dropped it on your screen.
Good. I guess I could keep Heartbeat in there because the other one I pitched was a Fruits. I guess we can just do this. This is fine, and then go back up to 6. This is pretty much a wait and see turn right here. Go back up to 6. And just play this. I could also play it at the end of my opponent's turn because I don't know if I got Sigil. Here we go. I really don't want to see this felling here, so we will put it into our arsenal. If they do another CNC, I can just play the Seeds. Or wait, no, actually, the Seeds is not going to be a good one. Okay, so he didn't flick yet. He activated Blood Splatter, which is interesting. Sure. Now this is just a race face. So we can block out 6 this way, play it, go about our day. Defense reaction on this. The life is actually interesting. My life, I should say, like the life total. We could have got a little bit more. Yeah, I could have kept the heartbeats and then played the fruit. I think it was a fruit, a yellow fruit that I pitched. I should probably stop drinking water. So close to bed. See, like, they get away with, like, dagger, race face, and things like that. Dagger, 2 cost. The most. We might just see a 2 cost here. Excuse me. Ooh, dual threat, that's good to see. Oh, good, we can root bound. So we are going to root bound. We're gonna probably do it on the second one. I'm hoping that they actually give me something. Last turn, they had to pop the chest here. I don't care about the dagger. What's my turn gonna be like? I guess I can block 5 here, but I do want to get the root bound to decompose. Decompose. This is go again, so it's probably dagger. Unfortunately, I may have to put away this Command and Conquer, so I probably could have blocked with a Command and Conquer, which is fine though, I think. Having an extra bit of damage is fine, I want to say. Let's see what's after, because I could block with the CNC still. Nope. Let's do this. Put this Command and Conquer into our deck. Yeah, so this Command and Conquer may not have gotten full value, but I could have gotten 2 less damage, so I think that's probably the best play. Even though we're over blocking by 2, we'd still take 2. Doesn't matter. At least we're getting online fast, or at least getting online for pretty close towards, we're at 5 on turn 4, which is nice. It's really cool to get. Oh, this hand sucks. This hand's pretty dog shit. Rowdy locals. Bittering Thorns. I guess I can block 5. My hand really doesn't do shit. It doesn't do much. Doesn't do much. I might Surgent and then keep this destructive. We'll see. If they, I mean, they're probably gonna have to pitch something here. They don't want to, but they probably could. Just depends on after seeing what my hand did, and it was pretty bad. I can still keep this as, yeah, it's still something I can do at my turn, so. I've actually thought about Rowdy Locals. I put it in my deck before, but I'm thinking about bringing it back again, so. These daggers are, the Fruits of the Forest are going to be so much better with daggers here, so. I mean, it's just a destructive. It could be the same thing. I can block 3, take 3, and then put these 2 in there, so I can just pretty much do only take 2 damage out of these. Because if we block 3, we'll take 3. We've taken 6 the entire turn. The turn only makes it to where we took only 2 damage, and then they don't really do anything for destructive. Like this. Don't care, because you don't have to go again. So I just fruit bound. I could have like turned it on, but it was only after blocking with that Autumn's Touch that I could. So it kind of sucks that we can't just get pings off of this, but it's fine. I'm just gonna put a better arsenal into my arsenal here. We need to see another tree. It's sad that we actually had to pitch that for felling, but at least it was for a felling. This is more dagger oriented with masks, which kind of blows. Thinking actually might block here. Fruits. I really don't have much going on for my turn. This is fine. We'll go to 30. I think we're only going to do 1 game today. I was thinking about the CNC being a thing. We'll just block 6. This is our last CNC that we're seeing. So it's a good thing that we did it for that decompose off the Kodachi. We'll keep felling. So we're just gonna do this. These 2 plus that. So we got another 2 earth. Felling and plow now. So they take 6. This will be good for us. They'll probably block 3. We did kind of pitch stack 2 of the rampants together. I just don't remember the count right now. We'll have to see it come back around. Damn it, dude. We have seeds without the arsenal. It's pretty bad. It's fine, though. We'll just plow under, move these 2 out of there, and then... Because he'll do dagger, probably attack. Dagger attack, maybe? I can play another plow under, put this into my arsenal for seeds. He flicks the other one. Because he has 4 go again. I necessarily don't have to play the seeds. Do we? Yeah, we only have 1 more. Let's do this for now. Oh shit, hang on. This is a breakpoint. Yeah, I have to do this. I have to take it down to 3. That sucks. Because it's a mass trigger. At least I can block this and then still send some damage. Even though I don't need to decompose, it just means I can just do whatever I need to do here. Or I can just surge it with the seeds and keep the plow under. Sending 6 and they just take 6, that still gets my like damage towards where I need it to be. And I can keep the earth in. So I think I like that. Surgent, but like keeping the plow under doesn't feel good. Nope. Take 6. Nope. Shelter. Nice. Man, these mind warps are not lining up with my trees, and I am sad. Sure. I'm going to probably force them to get a flick. How many have they gotten? One. Oh, he's flicking now. Okay. You're flicking the one that you have already going to play again, unless you got a 2-block. I didn't block anyways, but I guess he needs the resources. No, doesn't even get the resources. That flick. Oh, that's why. That's the why. Up sticks. Go by like 6 here. We're online. Get a little bit of damage off of fruits, maybe. Or Surgent and keep them Mind Warp. We've already seen 2 of our seeds. I may or may not play this Mind Warp. I don't know. If he takes it, I don't know. Okay. You actually made my decision a lot easier. There's not too much going on right now. Could be another cut through or bittering thorns. I could also play bark skin here. Let me think about this. Force to flick. Take sensor. Probably just these 2, right? Should be fine because it's another ring. Left fouling for 8, baby. Let's go. We'll do ring. We'll do plow and twinning. Hopefully this tree comes along and I can fucking start doing some shenanigans since he has AB1. That'd be great. My voices have been a little bit lost after the stream. We still have some 0 for 4 root bounds that we haven't really seen, so we'll probably get a shit ton of that. Another sensor, probably because I've already sent 2 of the fellings. There we go. And there's another Mind Warp. Double Scour. This hand is okay. It just doesn't really do much. For those who don't know, Rowdy Locals is pretty cool. These daggers are doing work, but I need some arcane, big arcane balls right about now. What am I going to block here? Force a flick? Nope. My hand really doesn't do much anyways. If this hits, if you hit him 3 more times, yeah, you haven't hit more than 3 times. But we will still block fucking 6. Do we even need to do a decompose? No, we don't. We're going to be blocking 6. Unless they have a rain razors. Oh, they don't have any resources. I'll still send this one. Since we've seen the 2 seeds that we have, Rowdy Locals I like in my new deck, non-CYB of course. I used to have it in here. It's possible that I can jam it back in. If they take 2, I'll still send it. And that's probably our last Mind Warp that coincides with our tree. $5 says we get trees right here. It's gonna suck, but Nope, no tree. That's good. We get a felling. This thing would have been juiced with the fucking with the Mind Warp if we had not played it last. It's so good. I might block this Kodachi here on Barkskin. I don't know yet. Because he's literally not caring about this. This chain link too much. So we can gain 4, 3. We can send a ping for 7. Does that even matter? We can technically block 5 here, but what do you do with the 2 floating? Because you wanted a chess piece. It could be a race face. Sigil, ramp. I can go sigil, hold priority on ping, ramp, and then ramp up the Verdance ping. That's 6 damage right there because I'm amping 4 off of this Verdance ping and then send felling for 11 value. We'll see what happens if it is a felling. Or sorry, a race face. It is take the tempo. We can block 5 and still send 6 and heal up. Let's do that and pocket felling. Let's do that. What is in your arsenal? Probably an Oasis. That'd be kind of funny. Running into a random Oasis. Both. Bing! So do that. Gain 4, send 5. Bing! Or 6. So that's better. I like it. Hand kind of sucks, so it's block heavy for sure. It just depends what this turn's about. A decomp here. Let's do you, and you. Okay. He's going to send a 2 cost. It's possible I let these go because I might want to send the CNC depending on what's the end here. Dual threat. It's a big turn here. And then I can probably block out his big turn here. Keep felling. Nice. Technically, I still do pretty good amount of stuff here. So his big turn kind of goes flat. Plow Wonder, and then just this. Yep. It was a dual threat in Arsenal. Which makes sense. His equipment was hit anyways, so it doesn't really matter, big dog. I fucking love it, dude. Let's go. That's funny shit right there. Oh man. I think we could do shelter discard here, maybe. We're gonna see one more channel, I think. I'm not mistaken. No, we'll be able to send. We have to kind of send some fucking arcane. And with some of the mind warp, so I think we might need to prioritize this tree. I'm gonna do this reaction here. I think all C and C's are gone. Ability. I'll only take one this entire turn. For this dagger. We'll block one. Take one. Still active. You still would like to play this tree if you can. We can block 8 if we need to. Unfortunate, man. I really don't want to block with this tree. That's our... Yeah, we'll find another tree. Shad. Last tempo. Last felling. Maybe we should have done tree. Did we do tree? No, we did not. Oh, it did that and that. Okay, never mind. We need to keep the channel tree potentially over anything else. We don't have any more pulsing ether, which I do not like, but we do have the mind warps. We pitched 2 earlier. Oh, no, we have 1 more left. We can do pretty good by keeping these pings alive. However, I might actually keep this Sigil of Solace in my arsenal, though. Sure. I can go plow. I might get fatigued here. What the fuck? I do have my rampant growths. I do have my trees. He has no arsenal. It doesn't really matter, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. So if I take 5, I send 6. I can ping for fruits. If you take 6, that's 12. Takes 1, that's 11. I go up 2. So 7. 7 to 11? Seems fine, right? It's closer. I keep Sigil. Oh! There's no fucking earth in my fucking banish. No! I could have fucking saved myself so much damage. What the fuck? I'm so stupid. Whoops. Oh man. This earth. Where are my trees? Where have they been? I had to pitch one earlier. Where's the... There's got to be another one, right? You probably just don't know how to use it. And I don't have fruits. Yeah. There's a tree. Because the ping didn't happen. I should have just blocked it out. Put the sigil in my arsenal. Pain in the backside. What the fuck is going on? What does my turn do here? Do I do this over this? Right? Because I could just send 4. Or I can just fruits and still ping for 4. Just +1. And it just does 2 damage. Sure, I mean, I'm going to be gaining the 2 back. And then flick. Tree. Ability. Gain 2. Ping for Verdant's ping. This is dagger oriented in terms of like more dagger defense. So can I? I can't even fucking kill. I can't even kill. This is so fucking bullshit. I can't plume for fucking... I don't have the resources. I may have to rebound that one. We'll have to see. What the oh, right, actually, we might be good. We might be good. We can plume for pulsing ether. We won't be able to keep this around though. I can plume for a blocking card. No, that doesn't feel good. What the fuck is going on? Why did this game go the way that it did? Did I take too much damage with these daggers? It's probably what it is. I could probably kill here if I had a fucking blue. 2 blues right here. Boom. Fucking done. And he flicks a fucking dagger at me, dude. I have to play the Sigil of Solace. Okay. I still get to keep this channel around. Do I heal here? Do I heal and then amp this big ass fucking thing? So hang on. Heal 3, rampant. That's amp on 3, 6. That's 5. Wait, this is actually a lot. Hang on. This is 5. That's 5. That's what? 13? And then I kill with Plume. So yeah, we fucking win. Holy shit. Oh no, we don't fucking. Oh my god. Earth. Fucking Earth is turned off, man. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. We still amp. We still amp a massive amounts of amp. Or do we kill next turn? Question mark with blues. Thinking. Oh my god, the 7 coming in, dude. Oh my god, these erase faces are coming at. I should have blocked the other erase face, to be fair. Like just blocking 8. And I took 8 or whatever, 7, whatever it was. I took 7 for no fucking reason, basically. I didn't even think about it. So that was probably a huge misstep. I really do not want to hit Plume here. So what I'm thinking can happen is Sigil of Solace, I Rampant Growth, and I pitch Rampant Growth towards this. That's amp 3. Hang on. Sigil, ramp, pitch to ramp. That's what, 3, 6, 7, 8. That doesn't feel good at all. Do I just pass? I think I just pass. And then tree dies. Okay. And then we can't heal off of that. So we just do what? We kill straight away? Because this is what, 5, 5. It's 14. Just fucking barely, dude. Because we don't have the exact resources. If we had double blue, we fucking kill because of the life off of the... Oh my fucking god. We could Seeds of Tomorrow here and survive a little bit. And get that sigil back. Can we even survive? We can block 5 off of this plus seeds because it'll be down to 2, actually 4. Man. This only comes in for 5. 14. This only comes in for 14. 14, dude! Instead of 16! We only gain up to 5 lives, and we only go to 6. Do we seeds here? Flick also eats it, so we down to 3 block. Yeah, we pretty much just we ain't gonna live. Dropping him down to 1, but I'll lose my Storm Striders. That fucking erase face just saved their lives. Holy shit, I did not have the block for it at 7. Holy shit. I think I only need... Oh my god. Oh man. We lose, I think, 3, 6. I cannot kill with Arcane, so I have to block. I should have done it in the layer step, dude. I just realized that. I forgot that. I gotta do it in layer step here. I gotta do it in the layer step. I can't do it in the reactions. He just reacts to it. I can't kill with arcane, so fuck me. Literally, these would fucking win me the game, but I couldn't see it. I did not see them until later on. And I can't do anything with these. I literally cannot do anything with these. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I'm just fucking dead. I'm just dead. Because that's another fucking attack right there. Holy shit. He doesn't know I've got 2 ramps in my hand. Yeah, I'm pretty much dead here, dude. Dude, that is so fucking ridiculous. Those fucking... Oh my god, dude, I gotta watch that back. That was probably my own fault in certain fucking fashion. Holy shit. That was my fault on certain things. I probably... Alright, that's probably my only game for the night, guys. I gotta go to bed. Thanks for watching, for the stream, for the recap, and my piss poor Ira match. See you guys.